Welcome to my clubhouse. My name is Sally Colón.
Something amazing is about to happen.
I just want to know, would you accept this rose?
He is Hollywood royalty.
It's not a story to be found anywhere.
What's going on?
You want to go there?
Yeah, because people want to know.
You have to move through the resistance
Right.
to get to the future self.
Am I crazy? Tell my kids I love them.
I'm gonna let it shine.
You took my breath away.
$79,000.
Woo, baby.
That feeling you have, it spreads to everyone who sees it.
Do you like this dress?
Is it expanding at all?
People can change if you put the work in it.
Should we make out? Just kidding.
Okay.
This is live? Oh, I had no idea.
Welcome to my clubhouse. My name is Sally Colón, and I'm so glad that you can join us today. There's so many incredible things happening, and I want to announce that I am the new voice of Vamp on a new video game called Crime Boss Roque City. I play a Puerto Rican scientist. I'm living out my childhood dream, and I get to do it with some really fun celebrities like Vanilla Ice, Danny Glover, Kim Basinger, Michael Rooker, Michael Madsen, Danny Trejo, and so many more. You can play the game on PS5 or Xbox starting now. It's been launched by Epic Games, and I'm just honored to be a part. I also want to say thank you to our incredible sponsors, Fast Fix Jewelry and Watch Repairs in Valencia, California at Westfield Mall. They're going to be sponsoring me all season. Here's this beautiful ring. I'm going to be wearing their beautiful jewelry all season. It's going to be so fun. And they also have some diamond rings for those guys that are looking for their beautiful bride. We have 2 carat, completely clear, no inclusions, VVS quality diamonds. And if you say my name, they will give you 26% off, which is incredible. I want to introduce you to my next guest. She's a beautiful human being, just spirit and soul. I love her heart. She owns a yoga studio in the heart of Santa Clarita called Thermal Horizons. It's where I work out. It's where I find my peace. It's my Zen place. And she's going to be with us today to talk about her emotional story about what inspires her to open this beautiful studio. For now, we're going to watch the new trailer for Crime Boss Roque City. And when we come back, Jaime Annette's going to be right here with me. We'll be right back.
I'm so thrilled. I'm humbled and grateful that you even asked me. I told you a little earlier. I don't Insta stalk anybody. Like, you know, I'm all about the human experience. Yeah. And so like me driving down here is the first time I actually really even looked you up. Oh, and wow. It blew me away. What an inspiration. I'm humbled and grateful that you even asked me to be here, truly.
Thank you. Thank you.
My heart is full.
Oh, well, I'm glad you're here. And the way you and I met was a total fluke. I think you don't even know this, but it was before you guys opened. You did a little like photo thing in front of the sign. I think you were just doing a photo before you opened. And I was like, oh, what's going on over there? And I was with my girls. And I said, it's a new place opening. And then it closed, and then it hadn't been open yet. And then the day it opened, I was like, I'm going in there. I need to know what that is.
I think you came in on day one, didn't you? Wasn't it day one? Or at least within the first week?
I was there the first week, and we did a walkthrough, and you had me at tea. Because you make the best homemade tea.
I have been doing it since I have been a child. Yes.
Wow.
And I love infused teas.
Yes. And so we never really had like a yoga studio where it's hot yoga and the infrared and all the stuff.
The minute I walked through those doors, I looked at a bunch of different spots for a healing haven. And I wanted it to be unique, and I wanted it to be special. And you can't really tell when you walk up to that storefront. You just think it's that one front studio. And the minute I walked back and crossed the threshold of Sun's studio, I just got the chills. I knew instinctively that this was the place.
That was the place.
And yeah, and it was in Granary Square, and you know, there's so many memories there. I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Let's do
took a
it.
shot in the dark, and
Yeah.
it was a little spendier than I wanted to be for a brick and mortar, but it felt right.
Well, so I want to go back because I want to know what the inspiration was for your studio.
We don't have all day. Well, it starts with my mom. I was raised by a hippie from the 60s. And when I say hippie from the 60s, I mean that I grew up in the Chatsworth Hills. We foraged, we lived off the land. My mom was all about Mother Earth. You know, she was a traveling gypsy, so to speak. She was a musician. We did a lot of festivals, and we always kind of met people where they were. It didn't matter what that looked like. So I was raised like that. And you were talking about teas. That's where I learned my infusions of teas. And 4 years ago, she got stage 4 ovarian cancer. And I am an only child, and I don't want to cry.
It's okay.
I'm a certified sound healer, so my mom's cancer got worse. She decided she wanted quality over quantity. And so she stopped doing chemo altogether, and that was right when COVID broke out. And I couldn't get her to her palliative appointments, not because for no other reason than you couldn't get to the hospitals during that time. So I would take her back to my sound healing studio at home. I had transformed my entire living room into my sound healing studio so that I could have intimate parties come over and I could work on riffs and sound healing. And I would just lay her down in my living room, and we would sound heal. And it certainly wasn't going to cure her cancer by any means, but it brought her a state of relaxation. You know, I could take her from beta to theta to delta some days when she was in pain, and we would do turning fork therapy, and we would visualize. And what started as kind of a daydream, you know, when my mom was in pain, I can't even tell you, we would lay there and visualize a place, a healing haven. And I'm having a really hard time because it's the holidays too, and it's my first holiday without my mom. But we would lay there and just visualize a healing haven. Okay, Mama, you know, what would we create if we could create anything? And my mom was always about Mother Earth and the land. And without the earth, we have nothing. If we're not good to the earth and we're not good to each other as human beings on planet Earth, what do we have?
Right.
You know, be kind, be loving, be a good human being, be authentic, be true to who you are. You know, so we just kind of created Thermal Horizons as a daydream. And my mom's cancer got worse. I fell down a rabbit hole. I couldn't get out emotionally. And I have all the tools, therapy, all of the things, and I couldn't get out. And I decided that I felt this intense calling, you know, to build a wellness center in Santa Clarita, you know. And so I took a second out of my house and took a leap of faith.
That is a leap of faith.
Yep. Brick and mortar post-COVID. It was not an easy decision, and I chose faith over fear. And I decided
I love that.
You know, and that wasn't easy, but you know what, my mom was worth it, and I wanted to build a legacy of wellness in her honor, and I felt compelled to do that.
That's so beautiful.
You know,
What's your greatest memory of your mom?
Oh God, playing her auto harp. My mom was a musician, so we would sit for hours, and she would just play, you know, and it was some of the fondest memories of my life are just laying there while my mom was playing music, making tea.
Aw, I feel like we all, I feel like your mom is just with us as we work out. I feel like she's there for the tea. I feel like she's there in the infrared sauna. Like, I feel like even though their bodies are in heaven, I feel like their spirits always live in us.
Yep.
You know, and I, like, you know, I lost my dad too. And I feel like whenever I laugh, people, nobody made a comment about my laugh until my dad passed away. And I feel like there's something that lives inside of us, of our person, our parent, that will always live inside of us, that it was of them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I do.
What do you think that is of your mom?
My mom's spirit. My mom was a free spirit. She didn't care about what anybody thought. She wore what she wanted. She wore what she wanted. She spoke as she speaks.
Yeah.
She had no problem telling you her opinions and
Yeah.
her thoughts. She'd never force them upon you, but you know, she'd tell you her truth.
Your spirit is your mom's spirit.
It is, and you know what? To be perfectly honest, I don't think that was any more true than when she actually passed. You know, I was using thermal. That was my, okay, this is what we're doing in order to deal with the fact that I was losing my best friend, you know, and that was difficult in and of itself. And I had a lot of other things that had happened in the last couple of years that, you know, but there's something that just clicked inside of me when she passed. And I knew the minute she passed, like I felt it. It was like hot chocolate going down my throat. And I knew the minute she passed, I felt it.
So why hot chocolate?
I couldn't even begin to tell you. It was 11:30 at night. And my mom, when you deal with somebody that has cancer, I mean, towards the end, it's air hunger. And it's this unmistakable noise that they can't get their breath anymore. And for 2 or 3 days, I knew she was going and she was transitioning. Just that sound and just this fear inside of me and anxiety and stress and sadness and grief. And in that moment, it just felt like hot chocolate going down my throat, and I knew instinctively that everything was going to be okay. Wow. And there was a peace that I can't even begin to tell you. There was a peace. And I felt my mom just float through me. And I feel like a part of me went with her, and a part of her stayed with me.
Oh, I love that. Your mama.
She was amazing.
She's
human
with
being.
us. She's with us.
And everything at Thermal is a direct manifestation of all of the beautiful things in my childhood that were wonderful, loving, caring, and nice. And what you see when you walk in there and what you feel when you walk in there is truly a healing haven. It's a safe harbor.
Yeah.
You know, you get to come as you are. You leave your baggage at the door. Put your hair up, no makeup. How are you? How's it going?
I
Want some
know.
tea?
You know what?
Let's hang out.
I just got a visual right now. Because when I walk, and Ben is here, and maybe towards the end we can bring Ben in because, and I want to know your story of how you met Ben. But when I walk into Thermal Horizons, I feel so peaceful. It's like the outside world doesn't exist. I feel like I go into a whole new world that's different than anything I've ever experienced. That's truly how I feel.
It's an intentional space. It is a healing haven. You know, and I really wanted, I mean, at first when we were first manifesting, you know, I thought it was just going to be yoga, sound healing, you know, and it manifested into more. People want choices, you know, people want to do fitness, you know, there's a huge, you know, but they don't want, people are like, go, come, you know, pre-workout, GERD, the gym. I want you to come as you are. I want you to come in I want you to come be a part of that room, do what you can do when you hit that mat for fitness. Enjoy the space that you're in, get some results, and walk out the door. It doesn't have to be a competition with yourself or anybody else in the room.
And I have to say, I love me some Molly. I love me some Molly. I love me some Gabrielle. And, you know, there's other great teachers, but those are my favorite because those are the classes that I take. You know, I'm with Molly Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I always go right in front. You know, I'm like, hey, Molly, you know, like I'm stalker. I love her. But I love just the environment, but everything that you have there. Like you have the infrared saunas, you have this beautiful retail space that Ben helped put together. So what are some of the misnomers of yoga? Because there are some people that won't touch yoga.
Yeah, it's really a shame. It really bums me out because people look at Instagram or any plethora of social platforms, and it's, you know, you see these beautiful figures doing these beautiful silhouettes, and that's really not what it is. You know, yoga is come as you are. There are therapeutics, there is gentle, there is restorative, there is hatha, there is something for everyone. You know, therapeutics, and honestly, if you're going to find me in any class, it's going to be therapeutics because you're on your bum the entire time, and you're doing strap work, you're doing hip openers, you know, you're giving you're working your SI joint, you're working your lower back, your sciatica, hip issues, so many benefits.
Absolutely.
And in the end, truly, if we don't have mobility and flexibility, we're all getting old. We're all going to be there one day. You know, and if you don't have mobility and flexibility, you're not moving.
You know what? A long time ago when I was still married, so this is probably 18 years ago, I was in Hawaii and with my husband at the time and my kids. And I got a massage when I was there. And the one thing the guy said to me, as you get older, the one thing to remember is to stretch every day.
Every day.
And I never forgot that. And I think yoga is the best way. Isn't that the best way to stretch your body?
It is. Well, that and yoga too. I mean, you can do it at home, you can do it anywhere. But I think having a shala or a studio space where movement and breath and synergy come together, and you have that and that sense of community in the room. There's something just super magical and special about that. And that's the connection I was missing during COVID. It's like I needed that.
I need the people. What are the pros and cons of being a female and owning your own business?
You know what? Honestly, my truth is this. I think we live in a new world. I think being a female business owner is a beautiful thing to be. I think we've stepped into a new world.
I love hearing that.
You know, if you asked me that question 5 years ago or even 10 years ago, it would have been different. You know, I think we as women are fighting from the minute we get out of the chute.
Yes.
You know, and there's been a little pause in the program that we get to empower ourselves.
I love that.
You know, and I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I'm digging it, you know, and for me personally, I think the growth for me is I've always been your best cheerleader. Like I'm the behind the scenes, you know, I'm that girl. And this has given me the opportunity to step out of that and become that person that I was always destined to be.
I love that. And
like
you're so good at it.
Oh, I love you. Thank
You're
you for
so
saying
good
that.
at it.
I
You
appreciate
are. Listen,
you.
that piece in that studio is not just for nothing. That piece in that studio is because of you.
I love
and
you.
because of Ben, and because of Danielle, and because of Molly, and all the beautiful people that you hire that all have the same, you know, sensitivity to humanity.
That's right.
And by the way, speaking of hire, you just hired my daughter.
I love Bella. Bella Boo.
Her very first job.
She's so cute.
And I thank you so much for hiring her because she loves being there.
Bella has a beautiful spirit. She's just young, so she just needs to be loved.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And nurtured. That's it.
I agree.
You know, mom's over here, and
Yeah.
she's just going to come in, and we're going to love her.
Yeah, I've been dropping her off and just be like, you go in, you
Yeah.
go in. And when she doesn't feel good, she's like, can you tell Jamie? No, you got to call Jamie.
And she does.
And she does, yeah. She was nervous the first time, though. It was funny. So this is going to be so off the wall, but, you know, when I started going to the yoga studio, I got a couple of my Christian friends, right? Because I grew up Christian and my father was a pastor that are like, you know, yoga is da-da-da-da-da-da. Why do Christians, why are they so against yoga?
You know what? Okay, there's a huge facet of a certain sect that believes that, you know, when you dance and when you move, and there's certain, what's the word I'm looking for? Movements that are probably inappropriate, you know, and I think that's something certain people just don't adhere to, but it's just a shame because you're closing yourself off from the sunlight of the spirit. Because here's the deal, you know, my father, I call him my dad, and is God, you know, and God wants you to dance. He wants you to sing. He wants you to celebrate. He wants you to read the Bible. It's all in there, you know.
I agree.
And I think my father loves yoga. You know why? Because yoga heals the spirit.
Yes.
And anything that heals the spirit and brings you closer to your connection with him is beauty and grace and unconditional love.
Absolutely.
So I think when people step onto that platform, I think they need to do some work on themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yoga
maybe,
does that, though.
It does.
Especially hot yoga. Hot yoga makes you think about everything. Like you can't listen. You can run, but you cannot hide when you're in hot yoga. Okay, and everyone around you is sweating, so you can't hide from that.
Nope.
But I feel like that in those moments, there's so many thoughts. Like I get a lot of my thoughts in the shower or on my walk. You know, I live in Bridgeport, so around there. But now I'm starting to get a lot of my thoughts in yoga.
It's creative.
Because you're shutting everything down, except it's a creative space.
Yes, it is.
I'd never thought that before.
It is absolutely a creative space. I do my best creative thinking when I'm sound healing, when I'm doing yoga, or just meditation on a guided meditation. Yeah.
I love that.
No, I wish everybody did it.
I know, me too. Listen, 6 years ago, if you would have said yoga, because I was like super Christian, I was like, nah, girl, I ain't going to yoga studio. But I get it now. I get the benefits now, and I'm so glad that I'm not denying yoga anymore. So I want to know how you met your loved one, Mr. Ben, that we get, and he's also in the studio. What's up, Ben? So Ben is all in the studio every day with you, and I love that you guys are together. So I want to know your quick story about how you met Ben.
Ben and I have a great story. I've known Ben actually for a better part of 20 years, maybe more than 20 years. And Ben was actually friends with my mom before I even knew Ben.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so they worked together on various charity events. And Ben was married. I was married at the time. I was still married. Ben was in another relationship and divorced. And we were in a Zoom meeting working on an event together. And it's a funny story. Ben actually shot me a text, "Hi, you look so beautiful." And I had
You slid into her DMs.
Yes,
okay, I got
via
you,
Zoom.
Ben. I got you.
And we were just chit-chatting. You know, I didn't have my readers on. So, with Zoom, like you can send personal and you can send to the group kind of thing. I didn't have my readers on. And he had shot his phone number across like the Zoom link. Wait a minute.
Look at you, Ben.
And so I'm like, oh, okay, I'll call you after. And so the meeting was over, and I had just come through the other side of my divorce. I hadn't told a lot of people. I was still processing and working that whole thing through. And I called Ben on the phone. He's like, why are you calling me?
Excuse me?
Yeah. Well, apparently I didn't have my readers on, and I didn't realize that he had sent his phone number to the group and not to our personal Zoom. I would have never called him.
Oh my. You would have never called
No, I
him?
would not have. No.
Not because you weren't interested, but because
Yeah,
of course. Women don't do that. We don't pursue men.
Right?
Men pursue us.
Well, and I wasn't even in the I wasn't even on the market. I just, whatever. But I'm like, I don't know, something struck me, and I'm like, Monica, Ben has always been a safe place to land. I've known him for 20 years, and I was just looking for a friend, and so him shooting that gave me the opportunity to go, okay, well, maybe this is my opportunity to reach out. I hadn't reached out much, and Ben and I have been together ever since.
And that's how many years?
And COVID, honestly, 2 years. And COVID was really interesting because you didn't have that. You couldn't wine and dine. You couldn't do the whole dating thing. So it was like, hey, you want to come over to my house and watch Netflix and order pizza?
Netflix and chill. Literally, Netflix and chill, you guys did. I love it.
And plus, he knew my mom. He had already known my kids. And it was just, it just was exactly what it was supposed to be in the time that it was supposed to be in.
So if you weren't doing what you're doing right now, what would you be doing?
Honestly, I think I would probably be, if you want my truth, I'd probably be a marine biologist. I'd be somewhere on a boat.
Really? Do you feel that smart when you say that?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. Honestly, I think I'd be a marine biologist. I'd be on a boat somewhere in the middle of nowhere, investigating the world, living in the ocean. Yeah,
You're
I've always
so
had
curious.
an affinity.
You're just such a curious mind.
I really am.
I could tell that
I
about
really
you.
am.
I love that. And if you can step in, it's just going to be a quick, just so you guys can meet Ben. It's not going to be a big, yep, just like that. Come on in.
I'll scoot you, honey.
And actually, if you could take your mic off and kind of put it in the middle, so you guys have seen the behind the scenes, so that way we can hear Ben as well. So Ben, really quickly, were you glad that she called?
I'm sorry? Oh my gosh. I was shocked during that night. I was shocked and stunned. I thought that someone had made a terrible mistake. But I was also so happy. It was one of those classic, really kind of fairy tale conversations. We talked for a good 3 hours together.
See, that's when when you have those first long conversations.
And I'm not that girl. I'm
No.
not spending 3 hours on a telephone.
Most people aren't.
Yeah.
Unless it feels so good that you don't want to hang up. That's
Yes,
right.
it was.
Yes.
I felt an immediate connection and love right away.
Do you have any brothers? It's always me looking for someone. It's always me. Okay. I feel like it's going to happen something like that. It's going to be some crazy thing that happens for me. The guy just like shows up at the yoga studio or the jewelry store or somewhere where I am all the time.
Truly, I had no expectations.
Yeah,
and
I
I
love
wasn't
that.
even looking.
You weren't even looking.
Not even
See,
close.
that's what everybody says. If you're not looking, that's when they show up.
It's
when you're
true.
not looking, right?
Yeah.
You got any cute guys at the yoga studio?
We do have a few, Sally.
I mean,
I'm gonna have
look
to.
it up,
I'm gonna
man.
have to.
What's
I'm gonna have
going
to
on,
send you.
Julie?
I'm gonna have to send you a few different classes.
So make sure you take this one at this time and be in this area.
Yeah.
Okay,
We do have quite a few.
Do you? Okay, well, we're going to keep talking about this off camera. Thank you very much. So I just want to thank you for coming all the way to Brentwood from Santa Clarita. I love that you guys came. I love you.
I'm honored that you even asked me.
Oh, of course. And I want everyone to know about Thermal Horizons. So one more question I wanted to ask you. Are you going to open more Thermal Horizons? Because you need to.
That is so weird that you even asked me
Why?
that, because I had, 3 people in the last week, one including this morning, is like, when are you opening next door?
Hello.
I know. You know what? The universe is in charge.
Yeah.
It hasn't let me down this far. I put my faith in the universe, and doors seem to open, and magical things happen. So if that is meant to be, it will be.
Listen, people recognize excellence, and you guys and what you're doing at Thermal is to the highest level, for real. So I'm honored to be a part, and I'm honored to be there, part of the family. I feel like I'm part of the. It's like
You
cheers
are.
for yoga studios.
We have mantra
right?
socks.
You have mantra socks.
We have mantra
Oh, by
socks.
the way, I totally forgot about that.
Uh-huh.
They sell my socks, mantra socks there, and like.
In fact, I'm sold out again.
Are you really?
I am.
Stop it.
I am.
Oh my gosh, my little sock company called Mantra Socks.
It needed
they
the
sell
right venue.
You're right about that. Oh my gosh, thank you for doing that. That makes me so happy that my socks are like
love
at
you.
your store.
I love you.
That's so amazing. And tell everybody where they can find you and how do they, if they want to be a member of Thermal Horizons, tell them all about it. Your camera's right there.
Super easy. Go on to thermalhorizons.com. It lists out everything. We have an app. You can download our app from the App Store. Or if you're on Insta, we do all of the things. So at Thermal Horizons and LinkedIn, you name it, we do it. Just look us up.
I hope you enjoyed that interview with Jaime Annette. What a ray of sunshine. I love that woman. If you're ever in the Santa Clarita area, make sure to check out Thermal Horizons. You can also follow them on Instagram at Thermal Horizons for all their future events. I want to thank my sponsors, Fast Fix Jewelry and Watch Repairs. If you go into the store, you find something beautiful, which they have, and you say my name, you get 26% off. So make sure to take advantage of that deal. Also, Crime Boss Rockay City is available now on PS5 and also on Xbox. Listen to the voice of Vamp. That's me. I'm excited. I'm living out my childhood dream. It's super fun. I can't wait for you guys to play. Thank you for being with us. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Sally Colón, #1. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sally Colón, #1. Let us know you watch. Send us a comment. Like our videos. We'll see you next time. And remember, es un nuevo día. It's a new day. So make sure you live your dreams awake. We'll see you next time. I'm Sally Colón. Bye-bye.